Hey, my magicals. So I've come on today. This is kind of a different video. I don't normally hop onto stuff that is political. Um, but Kelso has, he actually, you can see I look like absolute shit. I haven't slept much at all. I think I've had 2 hours sleep. And sleep has been a bit scarce with this eclipse season. But. Kelso wants to talk a little bit about this Charlie Kirk's death. Okay. Now, before I get into what the messages are, okay, I need to say very clearly that a family has lost a husband and a father, a son, an uncle, a cousin. There will be no tolerance for any kind of shitty communications and comments and things like that. Um, I am not doing this as a clickbait video because it's topical. I don't do that. I've never really been that person that jumps onto these political things. In all honesty and in absolute, complete transparency, I didn't know who the man was until he died. Okay. So it's not like I am pro anything. I am by nature not a political being. I am an energetic being. For those of you who experience energy like I do, it's an awfully heavy, cumbersome energy to be tuning into political energy. Okay, I try and avoid it. I've got enough going on in my own space and with spirit as it is. Okay, um, I don't. The loss of a soul is always a devastation. Um, I need to say that you may not agree with what his viewpoints were. To be fair, I've only found out a few of them in the last couple of days, and I don't agree with them. Okay. But there's a bigger undercurrent that's at play here. And this is not conspiracy theory information. I'm not interested in that either. Okay. This is about bringing to light something that more than we realize has triggered a catastrophic change in this world. The death of Charlie Kirk, the way it's been done, the way it's been handled, um, the fact that he was so young, the fact there's a whole number of different things, right? Any assassination, any killing, it creates a tear in the very fabric of our being as a society. Every single one. It doesn't matter whether they are known or whether they are not known, right? This particular tear has created a very this particular killing has created a very large tear in the fabric of our society. Okay. This is a turning point, I think, for humanity. I think it's a turning point that we haven't seen coming. And the reason I'm doing this video now is because there needs to be an awareness created at this point in time. You guys who follow me all the time know that in certain videos I've mentioned the war of light and dark. We also know that we all carry dark energy within us. It's our shadow side. It's our shadow side. This is going to be a little bit of a strange one in that it's going to be about us really being discerning about our energy, starting to see things and stand up for what is right in every possible way. There is a call to action again. The call has gone out again. So let's kind of get into it. Kelso has got quite a lot to say. It's why I didn't sleep last night, because he kept me up talking until like 3:30 this morning. Understand that as a girl who grew up without her biological father because he died as a result of a drunk driver, I never grew up with my dad. These little girls have had their dad for a little bit, but in some ways I feel like that may be worse. So I just say that wherever you are, if you're watching this, you just say a little prayer for those little girls and for his wife, Okay, the family, they were in the audience for those who don't know, and they witnessed it. The fact that this has been televised and has been allowed, I say televised, let me rephrase that. The fact that this has been allowed on social media platforms, the way he died, his moment of death, is unacceptable. It's part of what this little conversation is going to be about. Okay, so Kelso is calling us to awareness. That's the key thing around all of this is awareness. There's an energy now of us being very aware of where we place our energy. Now, there are a couple of paths around this, and the one thing that he wants to talk about is what we take in terms of social media, right? In preparation for this reading, I did actually do a little bit of a, not say sneak, I mean, they've been playing clips of his, his rallies and things like that. I had no clue who this guy was. At the very best, maybe on some level, he hit a peripheral at some point if there was a photo of him, but I never processed who he actually was. Let's be clear about that, right? I do not engage in politics in any serious or meaningful way. Okay, I do my duty and I'll vote and I'll do all of that, but I'm not someone who watches politics constantly. I tune into energy. Okay, it's a more accurate and it's a more honest reception of what's going on around us. And Kelso is saying, as spiritual beings, we are all needing to do the same thing now. To carry resentment, sorry, and anger over this is playing into our shadow side and playing into our dark side. To celebrate the life of anybody, really, having been taken, is playing into the dark. So, irrespective of what our views are of him, this has created a massive divide worldwide. And I have seen videos on some of the things he said. I don't even agree with some of the things he said. Be very honest with you. I don't agree with him. I don't think he deserved to die for that. Okay. There is a lot of talk about him being pro-gun and him getting what he was due. Again, not appropriate, not okay. All right. Just because people have views on not wanting chemotherapy if there's cancer doesn't mean they deserve to die of cancer. Okay. Tomato, tomato. Right. We are needing to be very clear on our thought processings, on our emotional responses. Okay. All of these things now, and I'm talking about collectively, and Kelso is not talking about this just around this situation, right? He's saying that we are needing to activate a level of awareness now that we have never probably had to do before. And this assassination has literally created a divide that will have ramifications for years to come. We are yet to see the power of what this has done. And I don't say that lightly, and I say that because I have watched people who have been staunch Democrats, right, sit there and go, I am so not okay with my party saying that that man got what he deserved. What does this mean for us spiritually? The divide is happening, guys. The divide into light and dark is happening. One man's assassination has activated the next level of that. The JFKs, the Martin Luther Kings, all of these people have been assassinated and have played huge roles in political history and as such in society, right? Our politics affect society. We know this. This is the next level, and it's a big one. Kelso and I had a conversation at the beginning of the year saying that events would play out this year that would change my life forever. When I said to him, when he said it would change life, he said he would change life forever. Sorry, all right, I'm sorry, sorry. I just got into trouble for misquoting him. When I asked the question, would it be a collective or was it an individual thing? His response to me was, we are all connected. I need to say at this point that the divide is very real. If people, right, can celebrate the loss of a life, if people feel comfortable putting images of a man literally dying in front of his family, we are in serious trouble as a society. We know this, though. We all know this. This is not new information that I'm handing out. What our role now is to start creating awareness around that. This is not okay. Not feeding into the frenzy of those things. Because when we do, we are actually stepping a little bit closer into our shadow side. Okay. At this point, we need to shine our light. We've been needing to do this for a while, but this divide has been a big one, where health caregivers that are there to protect life are saying the man deserved to die. Now, I'm just using this as an example, right? I'm using this as the cornerstone of my examples for what we are trying to discuss here. In fact, I saw something on social media. Bearing in mind at this point, I'm actively trying to get a feel for this, right? Because now I need to tune into this energy and do this today. I know nothing about the man, like absolutely nothing. One of the healthcare workers, a Democratic healthcare worker, said that he deserved to die. He deserved to die. He got exactly what he deserved. Okay. The bosses that fired her were Democrats. Now, here is where the crux of this message comes in. At the core of that, even though they were in different political parties to the victim, at the core of that, the seed of intention was that that was the wrong thing to have done. Okay? So at this stage of the game, when we look at light and dark, we are now very much coming into, it's playing out on this stage as in what is right and what is wrong. Okay, right is always light, wrong is always dark. We know this, right? It's now playing out in a way in front of us where people are going, that is wrong. They are choosing the light. Okay? And it doesn't matter, guys. This is what you're needing to understand here. This is where Kelso is saying we need to be so careful about how we are placing our energy. It doesn't matter how the package comes. And what I mean by that is, if you get a chocolate, if someone gives you a box of chocolates and it's wrapped in this gorgeous velvety bag and it's not a velvety bag, in a beautiful box with like a velvet cover and everything like that, or someone brings you a box of brings you chocolates and they're in a plastic packet, there is going to be no taste difference in the two chocolates. If they are exactly the same brand, exactly the same flavor, there is going to be no difference in the taste when you actually bite into it. A nougat chocolate is going to be a nougat chocolate. If it's the caramel chocolate, it's going to taste like caramel, right? There is no difference in the packaging. I mean, there's a difference in the packaging, no difference in the flavor. It's the same as the message that's going out. Those board members or whoever it was that fired that nurse may have done it going, we cannot have staff representing our space like this. That is not okay, right? But the core intention, that seed of intention, your behavior was wrong. That was not okay. So why I'm saying this is, don't get caught up in how actions play out, or look at the core intention, that seed of intention, right? As to what's playing out in front of you before you place your energy into certain things. That's why I've said to you, this video is not a clickbait video. There's no ways it's a clickbait video. I don't know anything about this guy. And I am absolutely devastated that his sole contract has left a young wife and 2 children without the head of their family. I'm devastated that he got to die in such a public way. I understand that it was a soul contract, and I understand why it's happened like that. It's needed to shock the world. And Kelso is saying this was a very big rock thrown into a very small pond. And so the ramifications of this are going to be enormous energetically. Again, I'm not worried about the politics. Okay. Again, the politics is the packaging. The politics is the packaging. Okay. And what Kelso is trying to get us to understand is that when people come at us and things are maybe executed badly, right? Let us not respond in ways that are going to dim our light. Look to what you feel, trust your gut, what the core intention of that seed of intention. What is that? Is it a positive one? Is it a negative one? Right? Your actions. If you are being kind to someone, is it is the seed of intention gain, or is it sincere compassion and empathy? There is a huge call to awareness now. This big stone in a really small pond, what it's done is that the people that were on the cusp of waking up, or those who have just barely opened their eyes and are starting to wake up, have been shovered well into the good morning ritual. Shall we call it that? They are now up and seeing. Okay? That was his contract. His contract was to activate so much awakening in people around light. What a beautiful contract. What a tragic way for that contract to have been fulfilled. Okay? And Kelso and I had long conversations about this last night, and he's saying there is no more time for us to be sitting on fences. There is no more time for us to believe that, you know, responding in certain ways is okay. He's saying we are now actively having to be the best version of ourselves as much as we can possibly be. And you know what, guys? It's hard work. That creating an awareness is hard work. It's like when I've got to go on a diet and I've got to go, shit, I can't eat this. Even though every part of me wants that chocolate eclair or whatever the hell it is. And my programming goes, it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel better. It's comfort. Just have it. It's fine. It's just one. Okay? Every just one energetic steps we take towards our shadow takes us that one step further away from the light. And we are needed. We are needed to shine our light now, guys. We really are. So before you start engaging, especially around social media and stuff like that, especially with everything that's going on in every aspect of our lives, make sure that we are checking out what the seed of intention is, and make sure that our seeds of intention are positive ones. Because this is a huge wake-up call. It's massive. For those of us who are in a little bit of spiritual narcolepsy, for those of us who feel like we've got enough time to do things, for those of us who are not stepping into our power and shining our light, guys, with everything that's happening, this has happened during two eclipses, two massive eclipses. It's happened just after the 999 portal. We cannot discount the magnitude of the planetary energy that's happening at the moment and the effect that that is having on a world stage. We can see it. We watch all of these military dramas playing out all over the world. And again, battles of right and wrong. Okay? For those of you who followed me long enough, you know that I do work with people on the other side. I help souls cross over and do that. The people that assist me on the other side have been unavailable for a fair amount of time. There are battles raging in the skies that we have got no clue to. There are cogs that have been set in motion that we are not going to feel for years to come. This has been a massive catalyst point. And that's not being said to be scary or to be this or to be that. This is being said now because we need to do the wake-up work. right? For those of us who are still not working in our power, who are still hiding from the light, what is this going to expect of me? What happens if I succeed? What is that going to require of me? That's my biggest fear, is if I actually really become like seriously like successful one day, what is that going to require me? Am I going to be able to do it? I've been dealing with this for ages, right? So I play small. I constantly play small. No more. That stopped a couple of months ago, actually. I started really stepping into that fully when I understood what my fear was. What is holding you back from your light? And something that Kelso is very clear on, making no choice is still a choice. So being on the fence around really stepping into your power and really doing what is right and being the better person is a big one right now. It's a huge one. This divide has been massive. I have seen literal African American men that are democratic making videos going, no, absolutely not. I will no longer support a party. I think it is the Democrat, right? Yeah, it's Republicans and Democrats. See, this is how much I know about politics. Like, I really just don't play into this. But the saying this is not okay. I cannot support a party that is. It's across the board. It's across the board that this has happened. Okay, this is not just one or two people. There has been a massive outcry from the opposition going, this is not okay. And again, how things are executed becomes imperative. They become imperative. If we have a good intention, but the execution is poor or there is a lack of execution, it's just an intention, no matter how good it is. That saying, hell, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Why? Because the executions are normally shocking. The intention is a good intention, but how it's executed is done from a place of ego, not from a place of soul and spirit. So watch yourselves, guys. Check yourselves. I know I've been referring back to this assassination a lot, but the reality is the divide is here. It's coming. This is the first wave. This is the first wave. And irrespective, and I maintain that some of the stuff that I saw last night, I don't agree with what he said. But no one's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We don't have all the answers. None of us are sent here with little microchips or books, depending on which years you were born in, saying this is how this has to happen. This is how you do this. This is how you succeed at that. That's planet Earth. It's a learning planet. It's a school, right? We learn as we go along. But if we set our seed intention as the right one and we really spend time just executing it as well as we can, that changes the game. That raise in frequency goes out into the universe. So don't sit there and go, oh, Mara, I'm an accountant and, what am I possibly going to do? You're going to be the best version of yourself because that's going to help everybody around you. It's an automatic energy that spreads. It's automatic. We all know this. All of us have been in the spiritual game long enough to know this. And this is day 3 after the assassination, or day 2, 24 hours, 48 hours now, so it's day 2 of the after the assassination. And the rift is just getting wider and wider. Guys, make sure that you're not on the wrong side of that rift based just on complacency. Okay. Manage your energy, manage how you're doing things. And also just please, the one thing I didn't know what I was watching, right? When the video came up and he was shot through the neck and you could see the whole thing play out. You could literally see his soul leave his body. I mean, that man was dead before he hit the floor. There's no doubt about that. Take medicine out of it. And from an energetic read, that man was dead within seconds. Okay? And I mean that seriously. He didn't even know what was coming. Let's be honest. And I guess there, in that sense, um, there is a blessing in that, right? But but some guy came on and was like, I don't know, Truth Finder or Truth Power or something like that. I've never even seen this guy's page before it came up, and he was going on about how did the ring on his finger end up on his pinky finger and all of that. And somebody immediately came up and put up a video of him playing with the rings during that very conference thing, right? So he had been playing. Why I'm saying this is that the dark is sneaky. It will try and entrap those of us trying to fight the light and trying to fight, well, with light, shall we say, into doubting again. I'm not saying go down rabbit holes. I'm saying use your gut and understand that your seed of intention means everything. Okay. I am so saddened at the state of the world. It is truly heartbreaking to see that this kind of behavior is okay. It's truly heartbreaking. Um, it's just not okay. And I'm hoping that no matter what your political view or how you felt about the person involved, um, I'm hoping that within you, you find the compassion and the empathy. And I'm truly hoping that you see this for what it is. You see this for the catalyst of massive change that's going to happen. And my gut feel is that there will be continued violence because that's how the dark operates. Unfortunately, it is what it is, right? But the reality is the more we shine our light, the less we take sides in terms of political parties and, countries and that kind of stuff. And the more we understand that a soul is a soul, okay, there has to be some kind of concept of understanding and empathy around that. And this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, right? But as a spiritual person, we understand that even the dark souls play a role. And so we don't respond to a dark soul with anger and resentment. We respond to that with prayers and compassion. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying let the murderers go. That's not what I'm saying. Do not misunderstand. I'm talking from an energetic point of view. If we respond to dark with light, the light will always expose the dark. It's the law of nature. But if we are going to respond with dark, we're just growing it. And this is not the time for that. I'm telling you now, my family, even in spirit, my grandmother and my foster parents and my dad, and people that I know in the spirit world that I work with actively, they have not been available for a little bit. And I'm not saying that when you do crossing overs and all that, you can't contact them. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. What I'm saying is they are being kept very busy on the other side. And I think it's because shit's getting real. So I'm asking you now to not be complacent within your spirituality, to not be complacent with your intentions. Live with a serious amount of awareness. If you are going to sit and scroll through all of this stuff, please make sure that you are protecting your energy and that when you are looking at videos and when you're doing things, that you are checking out intention. Okay, because there are a lot of people who've done this for clickbait, and that's just absolutely atrocious. That is not in any which way, shape, or form working in the light. And the irony is that there are social media, like TikTokers and all of that, that are now calling out the other TikTokers who are doing it for that reason, for clickbait. So be discerning, guys, is all I'm saying. Be discerning. And, a little prayer for the world probably wouldn't go amiss at this point. We really are struggling. in society at the moment. So I am sending you so much love. I know that this has been a bit of a weird video. It's not like my normal stuff, but Kelso is really saying that this is a big dividing time now, and we need to be really vigilant about our energy and keeping our side of the road clean, irrespective of political views. I think if we have to break this little chat down to the core of it, is that don't, in any which way, shape, or form, worry about the packaging. And it's at the end of the day, that's not what this is about. It's about what comes down to what is right and what is wrong. And even if you do not like somebody and their behavior, right, we don't respond with dark. That's never okay. And we let ourselves down. That's the whole point. We're on the spiritual journey and we're working so hard to do things, and then we let ourselves down very badly with that. So I am sending you so much love, guys. I am truly saddened at the moment with the state of the world. Um, and maybe this has had to happen for me as well, so that I also step more into my power and I start doing more healing sessions and more prayers and rituals around the world. But we can't all sit back and say, well, what difference is one of us going to make? Well, if 10 million say, well, what difference is one of us going to make? If all 10 million of them actually did something, we'll make a difference. Okay. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and I will touch base with you soon. Big loves, guys.